14 already. Just 3 more weekly rounds to come before the playoffs at the end of May. You will hear all of the action on the TalkSport network, either on TalkSport, TalkSport 2, or as always on the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel. I'm Mark Wilson. Good evening, Chris Mason alongside me tonight. Mason, you well?
Evening, mate. Evening, everybody. Yes, I'm very well, mate. Enjoying the weather. Had a nice little stroll around the Big Smoke this afternoon, and yeah, looking forward to tonight's action. It should be a big night. Leeds, of course. Luke Humphries was Leeds United Kings of Europe. That's why his dad named him. A huge Leeds United fan, so he's going to be buzzing, as will Leeds itself, because they won promotion, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Won the championship, celebrated that earlier on in the week in the city, and I'm sure it'll be a raucous atmosphere tonight. Paul Nicholson, the asset, is alongside us as well this evening. Looking forward to it. So 4 quarter-final ties as ever. Rob Cross against Gerwyn Price, Nathan Aspinall, Luke Littler, Michael Van Gerwen against Luke Humphries, and Stephen Bunting against Chris Dobey. Coming into it, we know that Luke Littler is already through to the finals at the end of the month. He's well clear at the top, a record 5 nightly wins. I guess the only question is he going to add to that before the end of the regular season, if you like. Luke Humphries is in second. Then it gets interesting. Gerwyn Price third on 22 points. Michael Van Gerwen is fourth on 20 points. Nathan Aspinall is fifth on 19. And Rob Cross is sixth on 14 points. Chris Dobey, I think, unless he wins the night tonight on 12 points, is really out of contention. And Stephen Bunting needs snookers. So the battle for the top 4 is well and truly on now. And I think, Chris, we can safely say that the top 2 are in. But after that, depends what happens in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, early on in this year's Premier League, we sort of felt that the top 3 would take care of itself, and the final qualifying position, place 4, was always going to be the one that felt like it was going to chop and change, and well, it has done pretty much throughout the campaign. Michael Van Gerwen's just holding on to it, 2 points behind Pricey in third, and Aspinall just a point off joining him on 20 points. So tonight we could see a bit of a shift, but I'm with you, top 2's done and dusted. They're going to add to that tally for sure. And for me, I think Dobey's out, as is Bunty. Rob Cross would have to come out and win it tonight, and then he'd have to back that up next week.
Yeah, I was looking at Rob Cross stats. I mean, Rob Cross and Michael Van Gerwen, the only 2 players, haven't won a weekly round, if you like. I mean, Rob Cross hasn't even got to a final yet. I mean, that is staggering, isn't it?
Well, especially the form he showed towards the back end of last year. He was looking likely pretty much everywhere he was going, and started the year off okay. But yeah, he's found it tough going. Listen, apart from the top 4 or 5, I think, you look at Rob's numbers, 98.82 for the campaign. That's higher than Gerwyn Price and higher than Michael Van Gerwen, who are both hovering around 96. So it doesn't really make any sense, but often darts doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's the one thing we can guarantee. Look, I'm jumping ahead to next week, but I'm looking at Aberdeen, the draw we know for that. Michael Van Gerwen taking on Nathan Aspinall, which as it stands right now is 4th against 5th, and there is every chance, because they won't do the draw for the final round until they know the league standing. So these next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely huge. I mean, Aspinall is taking on Luke Littler in game 2 tonight. His record is abysmal. Won 1 of 13 against Littler.
Yeah, and that does play its part, and we've seen that already in this Premier League, how that can affect the outcome of matches. Aspinall is just below that of Dobey in terms of tournament numbers, 95-63. He won't be particularly happy with that, but that's his game, isn't it? He's a grafter and a grinder, but we have seen gears and levels from him, and I think, look at Bunting. He didn't pick up a point and then turns up and literally just goes through the card, and Aspinall, Cross, they're going to have to try and do similar. I think Aspinall and Cross need a win out of the next couple of weeks.
Look at game 3, Michael Van Gerwen against Luke Humphries. Humphries, he's made a couple of finals. He's made 3 finals in the last 6 weeks, but hasn't added to his early 2 wins. How will he be feeling about his form at the minute, Luke Humphries?
Well, he's pretty much playing to type. I've got an interesting stat here, and it's the last 200 legs of all PDC players, and right at the top at the moment with an average of nearly 101 is Josh Rock. Luke Humphries 100.40, and his Premier League form 99.80. So he's sort of playing to type at the moment. But what we've seen in this year's Premier League is players very much like last week with Humphries, averages 107.46 and loses 6-5 to a 99.43, and that's been very much a theme of this year's Premier League. Those big numbers not winning matches.
Yeah, that's the case. We mentioned the head-to-heads. Van Gogh and Humphries 15 each, nothing between the two, but you get the feeling that's a bigger game for Van Gogh, given the fact that he is on the precipice, isn't he?
Yeah, and those 15 wins for Humphries would pretty much have come in the last couple of years. Those defeats were in and around the period where MVG wasn't far off prime.
Certainly will. And the bottom two, Stephen Bunting, Chris Dobey, round off the quarter-final stage, sitting 7th and 8th on the league ladder, and that is a head-to-head record that is dominated by Chris Dobey. 13-4 he leads that one, and he's won both meetings so far this year in the Premier League. Yeah,
the worry for me is the form of Dobey away from the Premier League. It's just not happening for him on the European tours or anywhere else, to be frank. So he's going to be looking to find something, and Bunty at the moment is playing very, very well. That's a dodgy game for Dobey.
Yeah, it is indeed. You mentioned Bunting and Dobey. Dobey actually beat Bunting, didn't he, in the final earlier on in the campaign in Rotterdam, week 11 there. So
yeah, statistically, Dobey over the last 200 legs that he's played, that puts him in 8th position. So, you know, and he's a guy that we look at for the big scores and the big averages. So, yeah, he's got something to find at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly has. We are building up to action in Leeds, and it's going to be a rowdy atmosphere. Luke Humphries certainly will carry the weight of the crowd. He's got his new Leeds themed shirt on, the blue and yellow of Leeds United, so he'll be on later on. And, well, he'll be hoping tonight, Chris, because we've mentioned it a few times in the Premier League. When you go around these football cities, he gets hammered everywhere he goes. Well, tonight they'll all be on his side.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think 7 of the Premier League players went to the European Tour at the weekend? Humphries got to the last 16. Everybody went out. Everybody else who's in this year's Premier League went out early doors. Do you think that has any bearing, the fact that Littler decided to give it a swerve again?
Well, we keep, and I think this, and I mentioned this to you earlier, I think this is something next year you'll be looking at this and going, how does Littler do when he doesn't go? How does he do when he does go on the European Tour? He's picking and choosing, isn't he? It's as simple as that. And I was surprised that so many went this week on the European Tour and yet didn't go to Munich the week, which
is way easier to get to as well.
Yeah, and that's, I'm looking at that going, that's pretty straightforward. One flight, you're there, and whereas Graz, a little bit different.
Yeah, and especially at this part of the season in the Premier League, you want to come to this night absolutely on it. These last couple of weeks could be life-changing potentially.
Of course they can. Look at the money up for grabs. You know, you met the top 4, the prize money just for finishing in the top 4, and obviously that brings with it the chance to win the big prize, and like you said, the riches and the luxuries that will bring in turn. Look, these guys are not short of a bob or two, but for some of them, you know, it's more important than others, isn't it? And the chance to win that crown,
275,000 plus the 10,000 a night that you may win. Was Littler up to now 50 grand in effective bonuses? It's huge, and like you say, if you make that final 4, you're guaranteed £85,000.
Yeah, that's it. It's not small beer, is it? But who is going to make the 4? That is the big question. We have got, there are still 8 in it, but Bunting, he's going to have to basically win every week, isn't he? And that's not really going to happen. Even if he did, I think the mathematics are against him even getting in. But he would like to get a win tonight, and he faces Chris Dobey later on. What about the opener then? Rob Cross, we mentioned, Gerwyn Price. Price has been in good form of late. Won in week 12 in Liverpool. He's got 3 nightly wins to his name. He's won 12 games across the tournament. He's been run up once, so 4 times he's made it to the final. You get the feeling one more week for him, I think he'll be in, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's I think he's playing with a lot more freedom nowadays. I think he's maybe mellowed or matured, whichever way you want to see it. But I think that allows him to play with a bit more freedom. It was a bizarre game last week, wasn't it? He played beautifully to make it to the semi-final, and then uncharacteristically rolled out, I think it was an 80 average.
Yeah, against Van Gerwen, wasn't it, in the semi-finals? He was it pretty ordinary.
It was bizarre because they were playing a few games, weren't they? They were sedately removing the darts and getting out the way or not getting out the way, and it was strange, but it's not the kind of number you associate with Gerwyn Price. It was actually 80.64, and he lost 6-3 to MVG, who only averaged 91 and change. It was a strange one, but prior to that, he was majestic against Humphries, who was getting crumbs and having to take them, and when he didn't, Pricey was stepping up and just rolling out the finishes.
Well, he popped off 3 big finishes, didn't he, in the last 3 legs to win it on that occasion. Rob Cross, I think, disappointing for him. I think it's an interesting year ahead for Rob Cross in terms of the world now. So he's got to be careful about that particular aspect of his game, because you wonder if he'd have been 5th at the start of this when the picks were made here. I don't think he gets in.
No, I agree. And a lot of pundits I spoke to, and certainly my friend and colleague Paul Nicholson, he was of the same thinker. But again, you break down his stats: 98.82 for the season. He's 42.5% on his doubles. He's at 48 180s. He's had a 170 out, and you think, how is he being cut adrift? But it's easy to forget that the game at the moment is being played at an extraordinary level.
Yeah, and it is worth bearing in mind he won on the World Series Rob Cross, and he's won a Pro Tour event, so it's not like he's in shocking form overall, but it just seems in the Premier League he's not quite got going.
I wonder if he's sort of falling into that trap of looking at where he is and trying too hard.
Maybe. Right, John McDonald is on the stage for the first time tonight.
Arena in the great city of Leeds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to meet the players. Would you please welcome at the Bet MGM Premier League. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the winner of 3 Grand Slam titles, a World Grand Prix champion, a World Cup champion, and the former champion of the world, the Iceman, Gerwyn Price.
Gerwyn Price has got the Leeds United colours on, but he's still got a few boos off the crowd. The pantomime villain is in town. Gerwyn Price with a predominantly white shirt with a blue and yellow trim of Leeds. Quite a nice shirt, to be fair. I'm sure he'll sell a few of those. He looks like one of the Leeds Rhinos. He's built like one of them, isn't he, the rugby league players? And now he's getting a few cheers. He's up on stage. They've seen his shirt. He gives it the big roar early on. Look, it's going to be lively tonight. Let's make no bones about that.
The 2-time European champion, the winner of the World Match Play, and the former champion of the world. It's Voltage, Rob Cross.
Well, Rob Cross nearly missed his walk-on there. He was still walking onto the walk-on when John McDonald introduced him to the crowd, but he's made it now. He's posing for a few selfies. Big night for Rob Cross. If he gets a win here in Leeds, then he's not out of the playoff picture yet. Former runner-up in the Premier League, of course, Rob Cross.
Well, there's a mixed bag in the YouTube chat that they think is going to win. If you've got any questions for myself, Mark, or Paul Nicholson, stick them in the chat and we'll try and answer them, keep them civil and sensible, and it may even get a shout out.
Maybe, why not? With you each and every week, we have been throughout the Premier League, Aberdeen, Sheffield, and the O2 to come. Voltage up on stage. He's gone for his traditional shirt. Rob Cross against Gerwyn Price. I mentioned they've met 3 times in the Premier League. Actually, Cross has got the head-to-head record. 2-1 he leads, but it's very tight. 13 wins for Cross, 15 for Price, and 2 draws between them. So these are normally
The
tough
days
to
of
call.
the draws in the Premier League, of course.
Yeah. Long gone now, Chris. Got to win if you want to win the Premier League. These two both have been runner-up. I mean, they'd both love to get their hands on that big prize. You mentioned the prize money alone, but just to be called the Premier League champion would be a real achievement for these two. Who are you going for tonight?
Overall,
No, in this one first. Easy one.
Do you know what? It is I don't want to sit on the fence and get splinters, but it's very much a coin flip. But I'm just going to side with Pricey in this one. Only just though.
Yeah. Rob Cross has only won 7 games of darts in 13 weeks of the Premier League. That is staggering, isn't it? Staggering.
And when you look at the numbers, like I said, it just doesn't really make any sense. If I presented you with those numbers and I said, right, at 13 nights, how many games do you think he's going to win? With those numbers, you'd probably double that.
Yeah, you would indeed. Just having a look down, he has made multiple semi-finals, of course, with those wins. But Going Price, the 40-year-old, well, he looks the part in Leeds. Is he going to play the part in Leeds?
Getting some support out there, right?
Yeah, well, he's got the Leeds shirt on, hasn't he? He's used his brain. Rob Cross, 34 years old, from Hastings. He's got the traditional blue dart shirt on. What a venue it is.
Oh, it's stunning,
in
isn't
Leeds.
it? And it's absolutely jammed to the rafters.
It is. Couldn't get a ticket for love nor money. Who will prevail here then? Rob Cross, you feel, needs a win. As the roar goes round the Leeds Arena, he's got the throw. Race to 6 as always for a place in the semi-finals.
There was a bizarre stat that came up there, which again makes his position even more scary. Over his last 3 matches, he's been 71% on his doubles, but has lost 2 out of 3 of them. Tough score.
Yeah, the standard by and large has been very, very good in this Premier League.
If you're listening for the first time, it's a race to 6.
57.
And Rob Cross has the throw. He's down to 304 in leg 1. Pricey with the ton, down to 309.
And if you are with us for the first, well, even if you're not with us for the first time, please like and subscribe
Yes.
to the channel. Plenty more content as we build through the year.
Yeah, there'll be plenty more exclusive content as well going into the finals night with the media day on the Wednesday. So if you do subscribe, you will get a notification of all the new content that's added, and there's going to be plenty.
Yeah, it certainly is. Nip and tuck here, 208 Cross. He's at the hockey now, 224 Price. Single 18, treble 5. Then hits treble 19. Good last start, but gets a little fancy here. Ton plus, and he's got a chance, and he's in the red bit. Can't
Just a
quite.
deflection. Switches over the 18s, and that's a disaster finding the 4 because it puts him on 140 instead of 126, which obviously is the combination that only needs the 1 treble. Single 18 off 118 for Cross. Not sure about that route. Yeah, single 20.
Well, you say you're not sure about it. He loves that treble 18.
Well, if you hit
doesn't
the
he?
54, you're on 64. Pricey 140. Oh, just misses the second treble 20. Yeah, if you hit that 54, you've got to go 14 ball. Or if you go for the treble 20 and hit it, or miss it, you can go treble 20, double 19.
64 then. That's a little bit more straightforward. Is it single 16s? It'll be single 16 again for double 16. The hold throw in the opening leg. Price waits on tops, and he'll still be waiting on tops because Rob Cross hits at the first time of asking and leads 1-0.
Yeah, tidy finishing, which backs up those stats that I was just talking about.
95.
Even this early in a race to 6, Gerwyn Price will be aware that it wouldn't be a disaster, but you drop your throw early and then you chase, and we know how hard that is in this arena.
Well, it's not only that. He loses here, and it's a nervy night seeing what happens in behind you. He's not yet solid in that top 4, and that's a nice visit down to 266. Cross on 361. Cross at the hockey now, looking, they're making roads on the Price throw, just below the treble. Runs for cover, doesn't find it, but does hit that treble 18, so he's level again. Just 2 points in arrears here. Ooh, that's a poor dart from Price. Well, that was as loose a visit from Gerwyn Price as you'll see for a long time.
Yeah, really wayward. He's not comfortable at all yet. So he's down to 220. One leg to cross on 268. He's found the treble. Switches for cover, didn't like the lie. He's got a single 19, another of course will leave him 170. And he throws a wild one in and finds the small 7.
Yeah, look, it might not seem a lot, but it means he's not on a finish, and Price on 220's at 80. He's moving along the hockey. Only a ton.
I don't recall him following a dart in yet. He sort of found it on dart 1 and then just seems to lose the weight. Single 20, a 19, single 18, 57. So he's down to 125. Treble 20 for Price. Single and double needed for one apiece. Gets the single, moves back right. Doesn't find top, so cross, 125 for 2-0. And the players like this shot.
Well, can Cross take it out? It's the green bit, just below, so the bull is open, but he's going treble 20. He's hit it. Now he needs tops for a breaker throw. Gerwyn Price looks on, anxious, but Cross 2. This is shot tops.
Same hole as Price's dart at tops. Double 10, it's wide. Oh, well inside. And when he starts, as he puts it, blowing doubles, he'll go through the match doing that. This is worrying for Price.
Right on the outside wire for Cross, double 10. Oh, he's crowbarred one in. Surely this one goes in. It does. 2-0. And a breaker throw to Rob Cross, but Gerwyn Price had chances to win that leg and he didn't take them.
Yes, he will feel like he's had his pocket picked in leg 2, but it is Cross who leads 2-0, and it's not what we hoped for or expected so far.
No, but the Iceman is starting to unload on the trebles. That's more like it from Gezi. First max of the night comes the way of the Welshman.
Back-to-back tons for Rob Cross, down to 301, so a chance for Price to hit straight back. Single 20, but it's a good guide, which he uses. Backs the max up with a 140, down to 181.
Really good start. He won't be panicking yet, but I'm with you. Just that look on his face when he missed those 3 darts. Back comes Cross. Can't quite fill it up. 140 to leave 161. Price on 181. He's in the red, but that's a lovely first dart. Now he is starting to find the second dart. Oh, what a visit. He's in 177.
I think he was trying to go for the treble 7 next door to leave tops. So 161 for Cross. He's found the 54. He'll go treble 19 and bull. He's found the treble 19 bull for 3-0. This will hurt.
Well, I think the adrenaline was in the shot there. He was about an inch too high. And Gezi left double 2. Oh, now he's in the madhouse. That's a safe dart. This for a break back, and he gets it. Fair play, Gerwyn Price. A look of relief on his face. Wasn't quite how he intended it, but he got there, and it's 2-1.
Well, when you see your opponent, potentially be on for the shot and get a dart at the ball off the 161, you think, oh dear, what's going on? And that adds extra pressure to your turn, but he somehow found the double 1, and it took a deflection, but ultimately landed in the green bit. So it's the break back, starts with 121, still trails 2-1 in legs, and 95 for Cross, down to 406. He's really starting to find that lipstick now. Right on cue. Treble 20, small 1, but finds treble 20 with dart 3.
Yes. I think you're right to mention on that setup play, if Rob Cross misses with the first dart on the 3-figure out, Gezi's probably got 20 seconds just to calm himself down. As it happened, he had 20 seconds worrying he wasn't going to get a shot at the double, and that's psychological, that's massive.
Must be like a minute to go in football and you hear it rattle off the crossbar. It just wakes you up a bit, doesn't it? This is good from Price, down to 160 after 12. Cross can't leave a finish from 348.
Isn't it funny now we analyse that number more and more? I know it sends Nico crazy when they leave a number they can't finish in 6 darts.
This is something that Luke Littler has Oh, treble 20 on the 160. Oh, misses it. He's really introduced that, and the players, more often than not, do follow suit. Sometimes you can't help the situation, but he's the most aware of after 6 being able to do it in 6.
Yeah. And Gezi got a really bad deflection as Crossets and Max. Now Gezi has left 75 here, so it's going to be 17, 18 tops, but only one dart, and one dart is over the top. And that maximum for Cross has given him a sniff here.
Yeah, 2 bites of the cherry here. If he misses the treble 20, he's got a chance for the treble 19. He does miss the treble 20, treble 19 and bull.
Hit the treble 19 on that combo in the last leg, can't get it here, and then he drops his dart, gets to retrieve it, and Price will be coming back for tops to level up the match. And his scoring has really improved last 2 legs.
Yeah, massively. 2-2 would be about right. 2-2 it is. Now, got a bit of a game on our hands.
Certainly have. Cross has still got the throw. Race to 6. Well, this one will take on the winner of Nathan Aspinall and Luke Littler. They meet next. I would imagine Luke Littler, the Manchester United fan, will get some grief. I'm sure Luke will be listening to Talk Sport because the United game is on there tonight, isn't it? Feast of football tonight on the Talk Sport network. 2 Europa League semi-finals and the first match in the playoffs, Bristol City against Sheffield United as well. That's on the Talk Sport app only.
I watched the 2 legs of the Barcelona-Inter. Absolutely mesmerising football.
Yeah.
Both legs.
They were playing a different sport, weren't
they?
They
were.
Yeah, they were.
It's like football.
Yeah. But for the gods.
Yeah, so special.
Yeah. 2-2 here in the Premier League. Rob Cross has lost his scoring here. He's behind, and Price is at the hockey now on 265. So 19s. He's got 4. Another 19 leaves him the big fish. That's what he leaves. So,
well, his scoring power is putting pressure on the cross throw now, where prior to winning that 3rd leg, it was, he was finding the trouble and unable to follow. Now he seems to have found his range. Not going to take the 170. I doubt if he would have gone for it and Cross on 231. He's come for 19s, only 58, so he's left the door ajar. A 2 treble visit here from Cross.
Yeah, would leave him a 2 dart out, wouldn't it? And there's 1 treble. And there's another. Well, right on cue.
And he replicated what he did at the end of the last leg with the Max. Single 18, needs the treble. Gets it, tops for a breaker throw and a 3-2 lead.
Short of the target. Short of the target. Really fancied him for that, but couldn't take it out. And Rob Cross with a maximum to leave 51. He's looking at 19 for double 16. 1 dart left. He doesn't like that one. It's a bit of a blocker. He just moves along the hockey. Oh no, Rob Cross misses. A miss for 3 on the spin. Double 10. You heard the roar from Gerwyn Price. Well, Price has had multiple darts to win the last 4 legs. He has won 3 of them and he leads 3-2.
Yeah, and I think after dropping the opening 2 legs, he'll be the happier of the 2 to find that breaker throw, make it 3 on the spin. He does have a little bit of momentum. It's still scratchy in places, but opening game of the night, it's always a tough spot.
Yeah, it is. Gerwyn Price with his lead shirt on. I know Nico's a big fan of the shirts, but I have to say that is a very nice start shirt.
I think it's, the players, traditionally you'd have a shirt and that'd be it for the season, unless you got new sponsors. But I think Chizzy started it off with having, wherever the tournaments were, he'd have the name of the tournament on the shirt. I think it's great, and it shows that you care about where you're playing. 9 19s for Pricey, 171 to leave 132. Cross on 265. He'll be on the 19s himself.
He will. 5 of them need him. He's got 2. He needs a treble here. He's not on a finish. He gets it.
And it's great marketing, of course.
Yes, of course. Well, they make a few quid on their shirts now. Oh, champagne shot. Bull. Double 16 for the 132 out for Price, and he's the width of a wire away.
Oh, we may see another champagne shot. Oh, Cross on the 170. He's found the trouble. He gets another. Can he hit the button?
Again, too high.
Similar to the last attempt at the ball. Single 8, double 4, double 2, chasing the doubles around. I said when he starts a match missing doubles, that pattern forms in his match.
38 for Cross to level up the match. He's going to split 6 for double 16. The trademark wipe of the hand on the trousers, and then he hits it right in the bottom corner. And Gerwyn Price is bemoaning the fact he missed 4 darts for a 4-2 lead, and we're all level at 3-3.
Yeah, he worked so hard to get that break in the lead to only throw that away. Now Cross, he's found the 60, but then a loose second dart, recovers with dart 3. It's 3-3 in a race to 6. We're on throw somehow.
And that's the second time in this game that Gerwyn Price has missed 4 darts and lost the leg. Lost it in leg 2, loses in leg 6. And only 60 to start off.
93.
Well, we're none the wiser as to who's going to prevail into the semi-finals tonight.
Well, there's been an array of breaks of throw, hasn't there? So it makes it even more unpredictable. Another dart dragged right. Recovers in the end with a treble 18, down to 2-1-3. Price back on 3-4-6. Single 20 followed by a treble and another back in the leg.
He is. Nervy time. Still to come, Van Gerwen, Humphreys and Bunting Doby, the bottom half of the draw.
I think you're right. They both appear to be a bit edgy, and the gameplay would suggest that.
Yeah, well, Cross, you feel, has got to win. He's got to win at least 2 games tonight, really, to stay relevant in the playoff chat. But for Price, should he be beaten here? Look at this for a visit. 138 from 206 gets him down to 68, but Cross first in at 118 for the lead again.
54's hit. Now this is what the situation you put yourself in. Well, he's hit the treble 14 for double 11. Otherwise, it would have been a dart at the ball. I'm not a fan. I'll get Nico's opinion. He's back in the chair.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at him now, and he's like a big no-no.
Yeah, well, 68 for Price. Single 16 will leave. Oh, he's missed big 12. He's missed big 12. And now Cross has got 11 in bits for a 4-3 lead, and Gerwyn Price, well, he's furious.
Yeah. Single 3 is found. Plum in the middle. Double 4. He's living a bit of a charmed life at the moment, Rob Cross. This game could be over, and Price could be walking off stage the victor. That's how many opportunities he's had. It's only one leg he's not had a dart or a double in, isn't there?
The first one and that one. Yeah, and that one because he missed the big number. He's on a knife edge.
57.
And this is what the league format does, isn't it? It creates its own pressure.
Yeah, additional pressure.
97.
Yeah, Pricey, 3 from 17 on the doubles, 18%.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Missed 4 in legs 2 and 6, and missed 2 in legs 3, 4 and 5. But crucial in legs 3, 4 and 5, he also hit one.
57.
He's still averaging nearly 94.
That shows you how well he's scored in spells. Cross full 3 up with a near 89 average.
48.
It's a weird old game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's even more bizarre than it's ever been. 2 treble 20s for Cross. Horrible deflection, dirty. 121 in the end, down to 266, 271 for Pricey on throw. Sensibly, 419s and a 25 to take him down to the 170, which we've seen Cross have a pop at.
We have. Treble 19 hit for Cross.
96.
He's on it.
Yeah,
Battle of the big fish.
it is. Price Can't reel it in. Single 20, single 19. Needs a treble here, and he doesn't get one.
A lot of low darts, an indication he is feeling the pressure. Quite getting to the end of his throw. Treble 20's found for Cross. Oh, it doesn't follow. Another deflection.
Fancied that second one, but look at that. He's left double 18. Price on 112. He's gone the 18 through. He did this before, missed tops. He's hit 4 18s for tops for 4-4. And this time that's right in the middle. Right in the middle. And it's all level up 4-4.
Well, the celebration was one of relief and joy. Huge moment in this match. That one shot, the match could hinge on it. Oh, we're just getting a replay of the roar.
Yeah. Thought we'd gone big lion hunting with Mr. Attenborough. Crossing the red bit. Another maximum for him. His third of the night.
Pricey responds. I'm not sure how that's not gone in, but it's only a 140 in the end. Down to 291, 4-4 in legs. Cross on throw. 2-2-1 minus these, and he's plumb in the middle of the treble 20. Picks off the ball, takes him down to 91.
Yeah, it does. Price is 200 points in arrears and only 220, so he's not going to get to a finish. So Cross, the move within one of the match, he's looking at 91. He's got 6 darts at it.
Doesn't find the 17. It's a single 3, so treble 16 or treble 20. Went for treble 20, missed it. 68 left, Rob.
Rubbish, he said, amongst other things. Then he hits the treble 16.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go there first. The adjustment is less from that part of the board to the treble 16. Nothing happening for Pricey in this leg. 25. Scores 25, still on 208.
Yeah. Double 10 then for 5-4. And to put Cross firmly under pressure. He's inside, double 5. Oh, I think he'll bust this, won't he?
Yeah.
He will. Well, Price now is kicking himself. 2 visits from 291, and he's not on a finish, and he's not going to be on a great one now.
No, he's pretty much just give up the leg, and his focus must be on leg 10, because he has the darts and he has to hold.
Oh, now the 2 missed. Gets it with a third dart of Askin.
He's loved the last dart in this one, hasn't he?
He has. Not the first time he's done that. Well, that's what happens when you give a player like Rob Cross so many chances. Eventually he will hit.
Absolutely. So Cross leads 5-4 in legs, 1 away. Price on throw starts with a ton, trying to take us to the hill. Both players trading tons at the start of leg 10. Treble 20 is not followed. Is with dart 3.
Mentioned that Rob Cross has won 2 of their 3 Premier League meetings so far this year. Is he going to make it 3 from 4? Chasing a treble. Cross comes up dry. So he's 3-6-3. Price on 2-6-1. Less these.
Yeah, take that shot. Just takes the pressure off Price. What does he do? Fires in a max. Down to 81 after 9. Rob Cross in a different postcode. It's not an LE one either.
LS actually.
Oh, LS.
Yeah, sorry to be pedantic. Well, he's got all the time in the world from 81 here. He's not going to need it because he's hit treble 14 to lead double 10. He said, there it is, 81.
Yeah,
nice
he wants a leg like that against the darts. That's when you want a 12 darter.
All down to this. Where's your money now?
In my pocket. Treble 20 for Cross, not followed. Only a ton. That'll be relief for Price after dart 1.
Will, wrong side of the treble wire, treble 5, moves along the treble 20. 95 scored, so nothing in it, 1 visit deep.
Damage limitation, that shot. 5-5. 401 Cross. Single 20, low, dragged low, finds the 57 on cover. They're inviting. The dart that found the treble 19 initially just sat up beautifully, as did the treble 20 for Price, but unable to follow. So down to 306, and he's going to have to be creative from there. A bit more simpler for Cross on 267.
Well, ton when he's on a finish.
I say simpler. It would have been if the dart wouldn't have been where it landed right below the 60, but he's made a beautiful adjustment and takes a ton off.
Yeah, so he's on 167. Price 306. 80 scored. Can't. Was it 137 there? But he's not on a finish.
Yeah, Nico's looking at me again in absolute despair. The thing is, the pressure can make you do strange things. Single 19 followed by a 54. So Cross has got himself down to 76. 169 for Bryce.
That's single 7. That's treble 19.
Might as well stay there. He's on. Well, ball could be an option.
Well, whacking another treble 19 just in case to leave 48, but Rob Cross first in should get at least one at a double. Well, he's going to get 2 at double 8. This for a 6-5 win for Rob Cross. Keep his hopes alive. Double 4 now. Price waits on 48. Will he get a go? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Rob Cross misses 2 match starts.
Single 8 tops for Gezi Price. For what will feel like a big win. Single 8's found. So is tops. And Pricey, well, it looked like he was finding a way to hand it to Rob Cross at times. Some indifferent finishing for the back end of that match. He was outstanding. What say you, Wills?
Well, he's pumped, isn't he? It looks like a Leeds United centre forward that's just whacked in the winning goal up at Ellen Road. Well, he produced some late heroics last week to beat Luke Humphries in the quarter-finals. He's done it again tonight. Rob Cross will be kicking himself, but those last 2 treble 19s the visit before really piled the pressure on Rob Cross.
Yeah, they just did enough to make him feel that Pricey was literally just holding on to his coattails, and well, I think that's just about right for me. We said it at the top, 6-5 either way. We thought it was going to be tight, and it delivered.
It certainly did. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. That's where NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro steps up to the hockey. Think of it as your personal referee, keeping dodgy websites, malware and phishing scams from sneaking into your setup. It even blocks those pesky ads so you don't get distracted mid-leg. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal as well. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So go in Price. First name through to the last 4 tonight. He will take on the winner of the next match, Nathan Aspinall, against Luke Littler and Chris Mason. And Paul Nicholson. I'll bring you all the action on the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel next.